All right, cervical referral patterns. Let's do a little overview of where they stem from, what that means, where they go down the arm, and what that means for you and your symptoms. So if we take a look at the neck right here, I want you to have a good understanding of what is going on and where I'm talking about when I reference things like your C6 nerve root. So when you tip your head forward, when you find that bone that pokes out the most right there at the bottom of your neck, that is C7, okay? Above it is C6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then your skull. In the neck, the nerves where they come out, they're actually named by the vertebra that they sit on top. It's different in your thoracic and your low back. But as far as where C6 is, if this is the sixth vertebra, the nerve that comes out right above it is going to be your sixth nerve root, okay? So you can see that where it comes out in between, if this space that it travels through starts to get smaller, which it's going to as we age anyways, but if there's any irritation that is taking up some of that pathway also, it will impact that nerve that is coming out of there. So what I wanted to show you was where that nerve goes, what peripheral nerve is what it's called that goes down the arm, stems from C6, and why I think you're getting some of the symptoms that you're getting. So if we add on more of the nerve layers, if I click on this nerve right here, okay? So your suprascapular nerve, it actually branches off of C5 and 6. So if you see where it comes up, it's going to branch off of C6, meaning if C6 is irritated, anything along that pathway of C6 could potentially have symptoms, and it could feel like muscle soreness, could feel cramping, could get some of that shooting, burning pain. So when I was poking on your shoulder blade and it was super uncomfortable, or why things sometimes appear to be a rotator cuff injury when you really don't remember doing anything to directly injure your rotator cuff, and when you've got the range of motion, that's usually to me a big indicator that it's not a rotator cuff injury. With rotator cuff, you really typically aren't able to raise all the way overhead. You can, so that's one red flag that goes off in my head for you. The other spots that I want to show you are when I came down and I was in your forearm. As you can tell, you have a lot of nerves. So the nerves are the communicating part from brain to body that tells everything what it needs to do. So if I am coming in, let's see if it'll let me click on this guy. So part of your radial nerve, this stems off of C6 through 8 also, meaning in your scenario, that's why I was checking that area to see if farther down that pathway of where it's stemming from C6 is irritated. I chose radial nerve because it goes towards the back of your hand, and you were getting some thumb pain also. So if we are going farther down the chain and we get into what would be your web space, you can see that that radial nerve is coming all the way down to the thumb where you get pain. And then if it lets me click on, it might not let me get close enough. Well, this is another branch. You don't necessarily have skin irritation here or decreased sensation, but that's another branch off of C6 through 8 and part of your radial nerve as well. So I wanted you to be aware of why I was kind of testing certain spots on you is because they directly feed off of that C6, and anything that comes off of that, you think of kind of like your main water source of your house. If there's a problem at the main water pipeline, you're going to notice changes through the house. So you might turn on the upstairs faucet and be like, this is kind of weird. Yes, that upstairs faucet is having issues, but the issue starts from your main water pipeline, if that makes sense. So let's go ahead and put on muscles, give you a better overview of what I was poking around on. So if you can see in here, that same area where I was showing you that nerve branch, you see it, and those are the muscles that are affecting it. You'll see the nerve and the muscle in between your web space. And then if we are up here, this is the muscle that I was poking on that is innervated again by that same stemming from C6. We take off one layer, or maybe more than you see it. We add the muscles back on, and it's like, oh, underneath all those muscles is that nerve. That's potentially why it feels that way. So I wanted to give you an overview of that. The other thing that I wanted to show you is the dermatomes that we talked about. So if I add skin on, and then we add these dermatomes, which are sensation from that nerve. So you feel pain down here. Sometimes you feel that burning up in here, or that shooting kind of just really uncomfortable. So if we look at C6, it comes down the side and front of the shoulder. I always tell people that we look for a pattern, and yes, C6 is probably the most involved, but any level above or below could have irritation also. So where you had a little bit more in the front, that is normal also. As we come down the arm, you'll see right here that C6 very specifically goes to the thumb. Okay? Well, this is clicking on the whole hand, but if you can see, C6 comes down and it is just the thumb. So when I was checking your nerves, that one that goes to all three of these, it is innervated by the nerve root of C6, but C6 specifically is thumb. So that was the other big red flag for me. And yes, sorry, this is a very anatomically correct model. I'm not trying to be inappropriate there. But I just wanted to give you a good overview and a little understanding of the logic that I take when I'm approaching an evaluation, and why I feel the way I do about the fact that I think all of your stuff is coming from your neck. It will, like I said, impact the muscles. They'll be sore. It'll feel like a muscle issue, but truly it is stemmed from the source of all that, which is the spine. Hopefully that was helpful.